Ladies and gentlemen, pause for a moment and earnestly consider the life you lead today. Reflect deeply on your past achievements and the various obstacles you've overcome on your journey thus far. Every outcome you've encountered, every victory, every setback is undeniably connected to the quality of your mindset. Think of your mindset as an invisible yet immensely powerful guiding force that shapes the trajectory of your entire existence. Visualize your mindset as a seed carefully planted into rich, fertile soil. Much like a seed's survival and growth hinge upon sunlight, nourishment, and attentive care, your mindset requires specific conditions to thrive. It demands positivity, resilience, and ongoing, deliberate nurturing. Without these vital elements, your mindset, like an uncared-for seed, will fail to grow, leaving your potential dormant. Fortunately, unlike the many external circumstances beyond your direct influence, your mindset is entirely within your control. It is composed of your beliefs, your attitudes, and your habitual thoughts, powerful tools you utilize daily, consciously or unconsciously, to shape your life's trajectory. Your mindset is the critical determinant that separates those who achieve lasting success and fulfillment from those who consistently struggle and remain stuck in cycles of disappointment. By purposefully cultivating a growth-oriented mindset, you set the foundation for extraordinary achievements and profound personal satisfaction. A positive mindset not only transforms your perception of challenges, but also shifts the way you respond to adversity. Instead of viewing setbacks as debilitating obstacles, you recognize them as valuable learning opportunities. Every difficulty becomes an occasion for growth, strengthening your resilience and enhancing your capacity to adapt and overcome. Consider those individuals who have accomplished extraordinary feats despite facing significant adversity. History is filled with examples of great leaders, innovators, and visionaries who leveraged a robust and resilient mindset to propel themselves forward even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Their success stories remind us of the extraordinary power inherent in a consciously cultivated mindset, yet the journey toward developing a consistently positive and empowering mindset requires sustained effort and intention. Daily practices such as mindfulness, gratitude, self-reflection, and affirmations play a crucial role in nurturing this mental landscape. Commit yourself to regularly evaluating and refining your thought patterns and attitudes. When negativity or doubt creeps in, consciously replace these destructive thoughts with affirmations of strength, positivity, and possibility. Ultimately, your mindset defines not only your emotional well-being, but also your capacity to achieve personal and professional success. Each thought, belief, and attitude you hold is instrumental in determining the quality and direction of your life. Take charge of this powerful force by dedicating yourself to ongoing mental and emotional growth. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this profound truth: by intentionally fostering a positive, resilient, and growth-oriented mindset, you empower yourself to achieve greatness. Embrace this mindset fully, nurture it consistently, and watch as your life transforms, blossoming into an extraordinary testament of your limitless potential. Andrew Carnegie's story is not simply one of financial triumph, it is the triumph of vision, discipline, and mental mastery. When he arrived in America, he possessed none of the material riches that would later define his legacy. But what he did possess was something far more powerful, an internal certainty that his life could be molded by the force of his imagination and effort. Mr. Carnegie did not stumble upon success. He constructed it in the furnace of daily belief. From the very beginning, Mr. Carnegie was deliberate about his mental habits. He trained himself to see possibilities where others saw limitations. When he encountered poverty, he didn't focus on lack. He focused on opportunity. When doors closed, he knocked again with greater resolve. This capacity to reinterpret circumstances was not accidental. It was the fruit of a consciously developed mental framework, one where purpose triumphed over pity and imagination overcame inertia. This principle remains just as vital for you. If you wish to rise above mediocrity, you must train your mind to visualize your life not as it is, but as it can be. The greatest tragedies of our time are not rooted in a lack of talent, but in a lack of vision. People settle for a life far below their potential because they have not dared to see beyond their current condition. Mr. Carnegie knew better. He saw the steel industry long before he owned it. He envisioned entire communities empowered by education before libraries bore his name. These were not wishful daydreams. They were precise mental blueprints that guided his choices, governed his actions, and sustained his spirit during times of difficulty. Your own journey demands the same clarity. You must become the architect of your future by first becoming the engineer of your thoughts. Develop a vision so clear, so emotionally resonant, that it becomes impossible to ignore. Let it pull you forward even when circumstances push against you. Paint your dreams on the canvas of your mind with bold colors. See it, feel it, walk within it. To do this, you must engage in daily mental conditioning. Start each day by reconnecting with your vision. Close your eyes and picture the life you're building. See yourself walking in purpose. Speak your goals aloud with conviction. Surround yourself with people, environments, and ideas that reinforce the world you're creating, not the one you're escaping. And when setbacks come, as they surely will, reframe them. Do not interpret difficulty as defeat. View it as part of the process that tempers your character and sharpens your aim. This is how Carnegie weathered storms. This is how you must weather yours. The power to create extraordinary outcomes lies within you. It is not reserved for the chosen few. It is activated by those who dare to believe with unwavering faith. Let your thoughts be fueled by purpose, your actions driven by vision, and your life shaped by intention. Andrew Carnegie mastered his mind, and in doing so, mastered his world. The same path is open to you. Walk it with courage. Resilience stands as one of the most powerful attributes in the architecture of a successful mindset. It is not simply the capacity to withstand adversity, it is the inner strength that allows you to recover, rebuild, and rise stronger than before. Resilience is forged in a furnace of difficulty, and it is polished by every storm you endure with perseverance and purpose. Consider the extraordinary life of Thomas Edison. History remembers him as the inventor of the electric light bulb, but few remember the relentless trial and error that marked his path. Mr. Edison conducted over 1,000 experiments before finally discovering the right filament. Where others might have seen repeated failure, he saw progress. He famously declared that he had not failed, he had simply discovered 1,000 methods that didn't work. His words reveal a mindset trained to extract value from every outcome, no matter how disappointing on the surface. Mr. Edison's resilience was not a passive trait, it was an active discipline. He made a conscious decision to learn from difficulty instead of being defeated by it. That same discipline is available to you when you face setbacks, and make no mistake, you will choose to frame them as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Each obstacle carries within it a hidden lesson, a seed of wisdom that, if nurtured, can yield tremendous growth. You must become a seeker of such lessons. When adversity strikes, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This single question turns chaos into clarity. It transforms frustration into focus. It moves you from helplessness to empowerment. Most importantly, it rewires your brain to see problems as possibilities in disguise. Resilience is not about ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It is about facing discomfort with courage and transforming pain into power. It is about enduring the night while believing in the dawn. As you encounter personal, professional, or emotional challenges, resist the temptation to wallow in defeat. Instead, pause, reflect, and extract meaning. This process doesn't just heal, it builds character. Through resilience, you develop what many lack, unshakable confidence. Not confidence based on temporary success or fleeting praise, but confidence anchored in the knowledge that no matter what comes, you can and will rise again. This form of confidence becomes the foundation of an unstoppable drive. You become the kind of individual who doesn't need perfect conditions to move forward. You create your own momentum, powered by belief and fortified by persistence. The road to success is not paved with ease, it is marked with setbacks, delays, and detours. But those who walk this road with resilience find that every trial contains a treasure. They understand that character is not tested by how we act when things are easy, but how we respond when they are not. Resilience is the echo of inner strength. It is the silent force that says, I will not quit. Just as Mr. Edison's light bulb illuminated the world, so too will your resilience light the path to your success. Harness it. Honor it, strengthen it daily, for in resilience you do not merely survive, you prevail. The pursuit of greatness does not begin with a vague intention. It begins with clarity. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. Many dream of success, wealth, influence, or impact, yet fail to reach their aspirations simply because they never took the time to define their destination with precision. Dreams, while inspiring, are not enough. They require structure, detail, and consistent action to evolve into tangible achievements. Henry Ford, a man who revolutionized transportation and industry, understood this principle with great clarity. His words, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right, highlight a profound truth about human potential. Belief is powerful, yes, but belief must be paired with direction. Mr. Ford's empire wasn't built on optimism alone. It was built on specific, clearly outlined goals and the relentless execution of those goals. The most successful individuals don't wander through life hoping for improvement. They plan, they prepare, and they pursue with purpose. You must do the same. Start by asking yourself, what does success actually look like for me? Define it. Is it a specific career position, a financial milestone, a personal transformation? Whatever it is, it must be written, measurable, and time-bound. A goal without a timeline is a wish, and wishes rarely leave the ground. Once your objectives are articulated, treat them as a binding agreement with your future self. Let your goals govern your calendar and dictate your choices. Clarity in your goals leads to clarity in your actions. Each day becomes a meaningful step forward rather than a random shuffle through tasks and distractions. Ambiguity, on the other hand, breeds procrastination. When your goals are undefined or overly broad, you become vulnerable to inaction. The mind, when faced with uncertainty, tends to delay. It waits for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect motivation, which often never arrives. Specificity eradicates this paralysis. It gives your mind a clear directive. It tells your hands what to build, your feet where to walk, and your heart what to believe. Consider the construction of a bridge. Engineers begin with detailed blueprints, not rough ideas. Every measurement, every calculation, every material is planned with care. Why should your life's work be approached with any less precision? If your goal is financial independence, define what that means. An income level, a savings amount, a business venture. If your aim is to become a published author, set deadlines for drafts, outlines, and submissions. Let every goal be engineered with care. This kind of intentionality not only increases your likelihood of success, it transforms your identity. You cease to be someone who talks about dreams and become someone who builds them. The act of setting clear, actionable goals trains your mind to think like a creator, a doer, and a finisher. You align your thinking, behavior, and environment to support your vision. In the end, clarity is not merely a strategy, it is a standard that demands seriousness, commitment, and courage. Hold yourself to it, and watch how the fog lifts from your journey. The clearer your goals, the straighter your path, and the straighter your path, the faster you arrive. True success is not a solitary endeavor. While individual talent and determination are critical, they often remain limited unless combined with the power of collaboration. The greatest achievements in history have been the result of unified effort, where ideas were shared, skills combined, and visions aligned. You may possess immense potential, but when joined with the right alliances, that potential is not only activated, it is multiplied. Consider the forging of the United States. The Founding Fathers, despite differing backgrounds, beliefs, and temperaments, chose collaboration over isolation. They debated, drafted, and ultimately united to establish a new nation. Their legacy is not merely in what they created, but in how they created it, through respectful discourse, strategic alignment, and shared purpose. Their example is a lasting testament that when individuals combine their strengths, they can produce something far greater than any could have accomplished alone. You too must seek out and build these kinds of strategic relationships in your life. Begin by evaluating who surrounds you. Are they lifting you higher? Are they challenging you to grow? Do they share your standards and ambitions? The people closest to you shape your perspective, influence your decisions, and either accelerate or delay your progress. Mastermind alliances, a term that represents intentional partnerships for mutual growth, are essential to your personal and professional evolution. When two or more minds meet in harmony with a shared objective, they create a third, more powerful mind, a collective intelligence that sparks innovation, solves problems, and generates momentum. The key here is harmony. It's not enough to gather people around you. You must connect with those whose values, goals, and integrity resonate with your own. To do this, you must lead with authenticity. Be someone who adds value first, who listens deeply, contributes sincerely, and supports consistently. When you offer strength, others with strength will naturally gravitate toward you. As you build these bonds, protect them, nurture your relationships with the same care you give your goals. Celebrate others' wins. Offer help when no one is watching. Trust, once earned and maintained, becomes the bridge to shared triumphs. These alliances will become your source of energy during times of difficulty. When your vision dims or your confidence wavers, a strong circle of aligned individuals will remind you who you are and why you began. They will speak truth, not flattery, encouragement, not enablement. Their belief in your potential will ignite your own. In collaboration, you not only gain ideas, you gain accountability. A shared mission requires consistent communication, coordinated effort, and mutual respect. These conditions refine your character and stretch your leadership. They force you to rise, to compromise wisely, and to commit deeply. Never underestimate what a single conversation, partnership, or shared mission can lead to. The path to greatness often begins where your strength meets someone else's. Let that truth guide your relationships. Seek alliances not for comfort, but for challenge, not for convenience, but for growth. When minds unite with purpose, mountains move. That is not poetic fiction. It is historical fact. Build your alliances deliberately, for in unity, your vision finds way. Self-discipline is not merely a trait, it is a life structure. It creates the framework within which achievement becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Without discipline, potential remains potential, but with it, even the most daunting goals begin to bend in your direction. Discipline is the bridge that connects ambition with accomplishment, thought with execution, and intention with transformation. Contrary to popular belief, discipline is not about deprivation, it is about direction. It does not limit your freedom, it defines it. A person without discipline drifts, led by impulse and fleeting emotion. But the disciplined individual commands their time, their focus, and ultimately their future. This is not rigid living, it is strategic mastery. The key to mastering self-discipline lies in consistent, deliberate choices that align with a higher vision. Each choice becomes a declaration of who you are becoming. Waking up early, committing to physical health, deepening your knowledge, managing your finances wisely, these are not random actions. They are declarations of intent. They signal to your mind and the world that you are serious about your path. Napoleon Bonaparte's declaration, "Victory belongs to the most persevering," was no idle statement. He understood that true power belongs not to the talented alone, but to those who show up day after day with purpose and resolve. Success does not require perfection. It demands persistence, and persistence is impossible without discipline. Think of discipline as a compass in the wilderness. Life, with its unpredictable terrain and countless distractions, can easily lead us astray. But when discipline anchors your decisions, you always know where true north lies. You may stumble, you may get delayed, but you do not lose your way. Your inner standards, cultivated through discipline, guide you back. To develop this internal compass, begin by setting non-negotiables. These are habits and principles that are not subject to mood or circumstance. For some, it's beginning the day with silence and intention. For others, it's a commitment to physical activity or daily journaling. Whatever your non-negotiables are, embed them deeply into your routine. Let them become as automatic as breathing. In time, these small acts accumulate power. One disciplined action repeated daily becomes a pillar. 10 become a fortress. Over time, you are not just doing discipline, you are becoming disciplined. It becomes part of your identity, not just a practice. There is something deeply dignifying about discipline. It instills pride, builds self-respect, and teaches you that your word to yourself holds weight. When you follow through on your commitments, especially when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you are trustworthy. That internal trust is the root of unshakable confidence. Yes, discipline requires effort, especially in the beginning, but that effort pays dividends. With each disciplined act, you rise above the noise of distraction and the temptation of ease. You choose to build while others wander. You choose to grow while others stagnate. Eventually, discipline ceases to be a struggle. It becomes a source of strength. It sharpens your edge, accelerates your progress, and shields your vision from decay. When all else wavers, motivation, excitement, even external support, discipline remains. Make it your mission to cultivate this inner climate. Think of your mind as a garden. What you plant, you grow. Choose to plant hope, courage, and belief. Water them daily with action. Pull out weeds of worry before they take root. In doing so, you don't just change your mood, you change your trajectory. Lifelong success demands lifelong learning. The most dynamic minds in history have all shared one trait, an insatiable hunger for knowledge. They understood that wisdom is not a destination, but a discipline, an ongoing pursuit that sharpens thinking, strengthens action, and sustains relevance in a changing world. Benjamin Franklin embodied this principle with remarkable discipline. Though he had limited formal education, he became one of the most respected intellectuals of his era. Why? Because he never stopped learning. Whether experimenting with electricity, negotiating diplomacy, or drafting political philosophy, Mr. Franklin devoted himself to constant growth. His daily routines included reading, writing, reflection, and engaging with other curious minds. Through this, he transformed knowledge into power. This approach remains just as vital today. We live in an era where information evolves rapidly and industries shift without warning. If you do not grow, you are not standing still, you are falling behind. Complacency is not neutral, it is regressive. The only way to maintain your edge is to keep sharpening it. To cultivate this mindset, treat your mind like a muscle. Stretch it, challenge it, feed it well. Read books that push the boundaries of your understanding. Seek out conversations with those more experienced or insightful than you. Attend workshops and seminars not merely for credentials, but for the transformation they offer. Personal growth requires initiative. No one will force you to learn once you leave the traditional classroom. But that is where the true test begins, when the responsibility for advancement shifts entirely to you. Take it seriously. Schedule time each week to develop your craft, explore new fields, or refine existing skills. The most valuable professionals in any industry are not the ones who know the most, but the ones who are always learning more. Mentorship plays a critical role in this journey. A mentor compresses time by transferring lessons learned through experience. They challenge assumptions, offer clarity, and ignite your own capacity for insight. Don't wait for a mentor to appear, seek them out. And once you find one, honor their time by applying what they teach. Learning is not limited to facts and figures. It includes emotional intelligence, communication, leadership, and the capacity to think critically. Success is rarely the result of technical skill alone. It often hinges on how well you understand people, manage stress, and adapt your behavior to different circumstances. Continuous learning, therefore, must be holistic. Every day, ask yourself, what did I learn today? This one question keeps you curious. It turns ordinary experiences into lessons. It transforms mistakes into insight. It builds a life that gets richer with time, not duller. Remember, knowledge is not static. The relevance of what you knew 5 years ago depends entirely on how well you've evolved since then. If you're not upgrading your mind, you're using outdated tools to solve new problems. By committing to continuous learning, you step 10 to the ranks of those who lead rather than follow. You future-proof your success. You become resilient, resourceful, and refined. In a world where change is the only constant, your ability to learn fast becomes your greatest competitive advantage. Choose to grow and never stop. Adaptability is not a luxury, it is a necessity. In a world where technology evolves overnight, industries are reshaped in months, and global events shift economic landscapes within days, your success depends not on how much you know, but on how quickly you can adjust. The ability to adapt is the difference between those who thrive and those who merely survive. Charles Darwin's observation about survival did not place strength or intelligence at the top of the list. It highlighted responsiveness to change. This insight transcends biology. It speaks directly to your professional life, personal development, and ability to lead. To remain effective in any domain, you must be willing to release rigid thinking and embrace the fluid nature of progress. Too often people fear change because it disrupts the familiar. They resist it, hoping the old ways will return. But success is not found in clinging to what once worked. It lies in the courage to step into the unknown and build new strategies for new realities. Change is not your enemy, it is your invitation to evolve. To cultivate adaptability, start by shifting your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" begin asking, "What can I learn from this?" This simple shift transforms panic into possibility. It redirects your energy from resistance to resourcefulness. Every challenge then becomes a proving ground, a space where your flexibility is refined and your problem-solving ability sharpened. Being adaptable doesn't mean abandoning your principles, it means reimagining your methods. Your vision can remain steady even as your route shifts. The best leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovators maintain their destination but are willing to redraw the map. They adjust their steps without compromising their values. One way to build adaptability is by seeking variety. Expose yourself to new ideas, cultures, and experiences. Read outside your usual interests. Engage with people who challenge your worldview. Each new encounter strengthens your mental elasticity and enhances your ability to pivot with confidence. Moreover, adaptability thrives in environments that support experimentation. Allow yourself to try, fail, and revise without harsh judgment. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. The more willing you are to iterate, the more agile your thinking becomes. Flexibility is like a muscle, it strengthens with use. Emotional agility is equally vital. As circumstances shift, you must learn to process discomfort without becoming paralyzed by it. Anxiety, frustration, and confusion are natural responses to change, but they are not final sentences. Practice grounding techniques. Reflect before reacting. Give yourself permission to feel uncertain while still taking action. In times of disruption, those who adapt become beacons of stability. They are not swept away by change, they harness it. Their composure inspires confidence, and their mindset fuels innovation. When others freeze, the adaptable move forward. Ultimately, adaptability is not just about adjusting to survive, it's about positioning yourself to lead. In every season of life, change is inevitable. Growth, however, is optional. Choose to grow. Choose to adapt. Let each twist in your journey strengthen your resolve, expand your creativity, and deepen your resilience. For in the ever-evolving story of success, it is the adaptable who write the next chapter. A life of true success is not built solely on accomplishments, accolades, or affluence. It is built on purpose. Purpose breathes meaning into your pursuits, anchors your ambition and values, and ensures that your journey is not only upward, but inward. Without purpose, even the highest peaks can feel hollow. With it, every step, even the smallest, feels significant. Purpose begins with introspection. Ask yourself, what do I stand for? What matters most to me? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? These questions are not abstract. They are foundational. They shape your vision, influence your decisions, and give direction to your days. When your goals align with your deeper convictions, you tap into a source of energy that outlasts motivation and outperforms willpower. Reflect on the legacy of those who changed the world not through force, but through purpose. Leaders like Florence Nightingale, who revolutionized healthcare not for recognition but from a deep sense of duty. Innovators like George Washington Carver, whose scientific breakthroughs uplifted generations of farmers and communities. Their achievements were not accidents. They were extensions of their inner mission. In your own life, this principle remains true. Each action you take should be an expression of your values. When you make decisions from a place of integrity, your results carry a deeper resonance. They echo beyond your own success and become a part of something larger. Purpose-driven individuals do not chase fulfillment, they create it. To live this way, you must regularly recalibrate. Life will tempt you with distractions, short-term wins that promise ease but cost authenticity. Stay alert. Check in with yourself. Are your efforts aligned with your values? Are your victories meaningful or merely impressive? Realign as needed. True success never asks you to abandon who you are. It demands that you become more of it. Contribution lies at the heart of purposeful living. The most enduring impact often comes not from personal gain, but from how you enrich others. When your work uplifts, when your presence inspires, when your words encourage, then you are building a legacy worth remembering. Success that elevates others is success that endures. This moment right now is your call to rise. The world is not waiting for someone perfect, it is waiting for someone committed. Decide to cultivate your mindset, sharpen your resilience, practice daily discipline, maintain optimism, adapt with grace, and lead with purpose. These are not separate traits, they are strands of a single thread, the thread of greatness. Greatness does not arrive as a lightning strike, it builds quietly in the daily choice to live with meaning. Every sunrise offers you the chance to begin again. The only limits that bind you are the ones you accept. Break them. Let today mark the turning point where intention meets action. Begin with courage, walk with consistency. Let each setback refine you, not define you. And always remember, your journey is not just about success, it is about significance. You are the author of your story. Write it with boldness, write it with heart, and write it in a way that leaves a mark not just on your life, but on the lives of others.